everyone, I'm JD from Willow Bound Journals. Welcome back to my channel. This is a Junk Journal with Me episode, and it's part 2 of a series where I am answering questions from some of my favourite journalers and people who inspire me. So in part 1, I answered questions from the lovely Johanna Clough. She is the one who introduced me to junk journals in the first place, so I thought that was very fitting that she would kick off this series. And in part 2, I am answering questions from Kirk from Psychology in Seattle. If you've been following my channel for a while, you know I am a huge fan of Psychology in Seattle. It is a podcast, but I discovered them on YouTube, so I watch them on YouTube and I regularly listen to them while I'm crafting in the background. So they have helped me a lot. They've entertained me, made me laugh a lot, helped me to know myself better and given me greater compassion and empathy for self and others. They've given me tools for better communication and words to articulate things better, and helped me to heal, and made a huge difference in my life. So that is why I'm also a patron of theirs, and I will link down below in the description box their channel. Go check them out if you're interested in psychology. And let's get straight into this. The first question from Kirk is, tell us the story about making your first journal. Johanna Clough, as I mentioned before, she introduced me to junk journals. It was in August 2017. I do have the specific date written somewhere in one of my journals because it was a momentous occasion. I was all ready to go to bed. I was in bed, ready to go to sleep, and unwinding by watching YouTube. And I must have been looking up something like journaling prompts or something to do with journals, and stumbled across the world of junk journals through Johanna Clough's channel and also some others, but it was Johanna's videos and journals that really struck me and resonated with me. And it was like I found my home. It was like I found the thing that I've always been looking for but didn't know existed, because I'm one of the most sentimental people in the world. Ever since a kid, I've kept ephemera. I didn't know it was called ephemera back then, though. I kept, business cards, postcards, letters, envelopes, wrapping paper, lolly wrappers, anything. I'll just keep it all. I'd keep all my school books, and I have lots of my artwork and all of my journals, and I have a file for every single year of my life with different papers and different things inside of those files. And I've always wanted to do something with them, didn't know how, and I love how junk journals combines it all. How even if you don't use a junk journal, you can still use a plain journal in the junk journal style, which is something I kind of did anyway, eventually, where I would stick in different pieces from my life as I was, writing. I'd stick in photos as well, and tickets and movie tickets, bus tickets, different kinds of things like that. Little notes on scraps of paper, I would stick those into. And I love that junk journal style of combining writing with photos and with ephemera and all of those visual decorative elements. And I've loved it ever since. As you can tell with my channel, I've just run with that. That night back in August 2017, I was jumping out of my skin. I jumped out of bed and I pulled out all my craft supplies and had my first go, my trial run at making a junk journal. And that's the power of inspiration, right? Because you could be so unmotivated one moment. As soon as you get that spark of inspiration, you don't know where it could come from. It just could come out of nowhere, from anywhere. And all of a sudden, you've got energy, and no matter what obstacles there are, inspiration can take you anywhere, is what I like to say. I then went out to buy a bunch of supplies. I think I spent like $100 in one shopping spree. Took all these papers and stickers. Keanu, my black cat, wants to say hello. Stickers and tags and lace and fabric. I bought all this stuff, came back home, and I already had this chipboard journal because I was always a crafter. I've been scrapbooking, I've been card making and paper crafting, many, many years before this. So I had a lot of supplies already, but I just got some more. And then it was a ring bound chipboard journal. I added my own pages between the chipboard pieces. I decorated the chipboard. I created pockets and tacks and all that kind of stuff and made my very first journal. In fact, if you see the banner on my YouTube channel on the homepage, the journal showing at the very left hand side of that banner, that was my first journal that I ever made. And it was the second journal that I ever sold unexpectedly. A neighbor came over and she was looking at it and she bought it, and it was for her, I think her niece, and she would always tell me, yeah, my niece found another pocket today, or yeah, my niece still loves that journal. And it's like, oh, that's so sweet. Love that. So that was my first journal that I ever made. And look at where we are now. It's crazy, this journey. It's been an amazing journey. So the next question Kirk gave me, so if you haven't figured it out yet, this is going to be a very chatty video. Hope you got something to do in the background while this is playing. Maybe you're crafting along with me. What do you like and dislike about being a YouTuber? So what I like is, the first reason I got into YouTube was to be able to share my joy of creating, crafting, journaling, making journals. Because once I discovered this world, it became my world. Like, it's all I consumed, it's all I wanted to look at and do. And so I just wanted to, no one in my real life understood it. They didn't know what junk journals were and didn't really care. So the only place that I found that understood it and was into it was on YouTube, really, and Facebook. But YouTube was really the one where I felt like I was connecting with people who had this same passion that I did. And so I wanted to share that too. And so I started sharing my own creations just for the joy of it. And it was just like this overflowing joy. I couldn't contain it. I needed to share it with the world. And I'll always advocate for journaling and how that is a therapeutic tool. So I love that. I love being able to share what I'm creating, share the joy and the love of journals and journaling. And the other thing, though, that I love about YouTube is meeting friends from all around the world. That has been a wonderful bonus. I love it. I love all of your beautiful comments. I love your emails and messages. And it just blows me away that, the internet, wow, that we can meet all these people from around the world who, without the internet, we couldn't, right? And it can bring us together. And when we could have thought we were all alone in our crafty world, all isolated, to realize that someone else gets it. You like paper? I like paper. This is amazing. It's just been really wonderful, and just a really supportive, encouraging community. And I have loved being part of it. What I have disliked is kind of the flip side of that, is that you are in the public, which is quite scary. So you open yourself up to judgment, criticism, attack. My worst fear, I guess, is of hurting someone, offending someone, making someone angry, having someone hate me. Not fun. Occasionally I've gotten one of those types of emails or comments, and it's shaken my world. I've cried and just been like, couldn't sleep, and was thinking, do I need to delete my channel? Is this even worth it? And I've learnt some tools, though, over the years. I have learnt some tools to help with that, and one is to have a support group or people who I can reach out to in those times, just to get their perspective. Because in my perspective, I have that sort of nature where I will just run with those thoughts, those dark thoughts, and I can't see outside of them. I'm the kind of person as well, if someone says something, I'll just take it on and be like, yes, that must be true. And then I'll go talk to my friends or the support people, and they'll be like, no, don't listen to them. They don't even know what they're talking about. They don't even know you. You don't need to listen to them. You're fine. It's all good. Everything's okay. And because I get twisted, I'll be like, are they right? Is that what I should do? Is what's happening here? And they'll be like, no. It's all good. And then one of the best pieces of advice I got from one of my friends, she said that I didn't have to let strangers speak into my life like that. Like, if you're going to let people speak into your life, let your friends and the people who actually know you be the ones who you let speak into your life. And so that's the thing that I dislike the most, is where people make assumptions about you and they think they know you, and they think they know your character and who you are, and just from the videos. And that's one thing I've been conscious of even before YouTube, is not to take things, we all know this, Instagram feeds and Facebook feeds, the perfect photos and the perfect posts, that's not real. I mean, it's a side, it can be real, but it's just one side to the picture, to a person's life. People are way more well-rounded than what they show on, social media. And to remember that you don't see everything. And of course, sometimes people will put up these perfect posts, but I've always been aware that, well, everyone has struggles. Every single person has struggles, and no life is perfect. And don't judge, and don't make assumptions, and don't think you know them just from what they put up. And so same goes for me. I'm going to say it, like, for my channel, for what I present, it's one side of me, it's not all of me. It's part of me, but it's not all of me. And yeah, so that was a great piece of advice my friend gave me, is, these people who just see this little snapshot of you on your channel, they don't know you, so don't let them have that power over you to speak into your life. Listen to the ones who do know you and do know your heart, and do know, your values, and who have your best interest at heart, and who want the best for you. Okay, the next question from Kirk is, how do you stay organized with all those bits and bobs? That's why I included a little photo. It's not so little, actually. It's taking up like almost half the page. On the top of the left side page, you can see a photo of my desk and all of my shelves and trays and my Psychology in Seattle poster. I love that, with their catchphrase. And basically, I have a lot of shelves. I love shelves. If I could put shelves on every single wall, I would. And then I've got bookcases, my desk drawers. Of course, my cat is just playing in the background, just mind him. And I've got a trolley, a Raskog trolley. It has 3 trays in it. I put things like I'm so sorry. My cat just jumped into a paper bag and his tail was sticking out the top of the bag. It looks so cute. Distracted by cat. It happens a lot. Anyway, so if you want to see a craft room tour of how I organise all the things as well, I'll try to remember to link that below, but if I forget, you can just search room tour and you can see that, and that takes you through in specific detail how I organise everything. But shelves, trays, drawers, love them. Baskets and boxes also. For me, I am definitely a very organised, ordered person, and I always clean my desk at the end of the night. I like coming into the morning to a fresh desk, and I have a place for everything. That's my ideal, is there's a place for everything, so I can always put something away in its spot. The next question from Kirk is, do some fans like the ASMR aspect of your videos? So most don't. I have put up the occasional ASMR flip through of a journal or a silent journaling session video, and most of the comments say no, not a fan. They like to hear me chat, which is interesting. I do have a separate ASMR channel for my flip-throughs, silent flip-throughs and silent journaling videos, since people didn't really like that here. But I definitely am a fan of ASMR, well, certain types of ASMR. I'm not into the whispering or the, most of the role players are not really into those, definitely not into the eating ones, but I do love the journaling ones with the rustling of paper and the sound of crinkling plastic. I do find those quite relaxing and have often put on an ASMR video of that nature to fall asleep to. But what people have said is they do like the sound of the cutting of paper. Lots of people have mentioned when I use my scissors and am cutting paper with my scissors that they really enjoy that sound. But they also like it while I'm talking at the same time. And lots of people, while I've done lives, have mentioned sort of they like how relaxing the lives are and how soothing and calming it is just seeing me, craft about and talking. A lot of people say my voice is soothing and calming and relaxing to them, which that's wonderful, but I never really saw that myself because, hey, I've watched ASMR videos and, calm people on YouTube with calm voices, and I would do that too sometimes. I would put on a video where I wasn't really watching it, I was just putting it on for something on in the background while I'm going about crafting or going about my day, and I just really enjoyed the soothing voice of the journaler. And I would think, I don't have their voice. I mean, sometimes I could, if I'm in a really mellow mood, I can talk quite calmly and soothing, and sometimes I've dabbled into thinking, should I do videos like this with a calm, quieter voice like this? Because I do quite enjoy those types of videos myself, but I don't know, I've got too much inflection in my voice or something, and I tend to, people call me bubbly and cheery, and I think that reflects in my voice as opposed to calm and soothing. My voice is bubbly and cheery, and also I find my voice will change depending on what I'm talking about. So one moment I could be calm and soothing this moment, but the next moment I might be like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited about this thing, I've got to tell you about this thing, oh my goodness. And then I'll go into like this deep and serious mode where I'm like, okay, now I need to tell you about this thing. And I'm like, I don't know, I feel like I jump around from high to low when I'm talking, and that's just how I naturally speak. Because like I said, sometimes I played around with the idea of doing the calming, soothing voices, but like that takes a lot of energy for me to keep that tone, because naturally when I speak, I'm up, I'm down, I'm inflecting, or I don't know what the word is, but I'm animated when I talk, I guess. So that's great though if people find that calming and soothing. Personally, I don't find my voice calming and soothing unless I am speaking that calming way. So that is that question. Moving on to the next one. And this is the last one, and this is my favourite one. I love these deep questions. How is it therapeutic for you to make journals and be a YouTuber? So I like this question in particular because it's given me a new question, something that I haven't thought about, and I love being made to think and to know myself better through thinking more deeply. So I'll go with the first one first. How is it therapeutic for me to make journals? And in thinking about this, I came up with sort of 3 aspects to this. The first is that as a creative person, it's therapeutic for me just to create. Oh, I'm going to loop this video because I've got a lot to say. It's therapeutic for me to have an outlet to express myself in a creative way. And the second aspect is it helps me to have something that keeps my hands busy and my mind free. And I got this from a book, actually. One of my favourite book series is a fantasy series called the Belgariad. And in this book, there's a character called Polgara. She's constantly sewing and mending. And I think someone in the book said something like, why are you always doing that? Or don't you want to be doing something else? And she says, it keeps my hands busy and my mind free. And when she said that, I'm not sure if that's exactly what she said, but it really resonated with me. It's like, I saw myself in that. It's like, yes, that gives words to what I feel as well. I always like having my hands doing something because it frees up my mind to wander, to explore, to think, to dream, to process, to reflect, and to learn, and to, integrate ideas, which I love. I'm a big thinker. I've always been analytical, always been an observer, and I would just, one of my favourite things as a kid, actually it's still my favourite thing as an adult, is to go on car rides, and the longer the better, because car rides meaning I'm the passenger, and you're just driven around, you're not going anywhere, you're just going for a ride. And that just let me have the freedom and the space and the room for my mind to just go wherever it wanted to go and to think about things. And I love just spending time thinking. I would say to people my hobby is thinking, because I really enjoyed it. I found thinking fun. So yeah, having my hands busy allows my mind to think, which is therapeutic to me. And then the other side of it is I like having a project. So this is something I learned back when I was at uni. Like throughout my whole life, I've had depressive funks. I think most of us do every now and then, when we're just in a mood and feeling unmotivated. And I noticed for me in uni, I would often happen during the school holidays, the university holidays, when I would just be like, I don't want to do anything. And I would always get to a point where I'd get bored. It's so funny. During the semester, I'm like, I can't wait till holidays, and I won't be stressed, and I won't have anything to do. I won't have all these assignments that I need to do, and can't wait for holidays. And then holidays would come, and within like the second day, I'm so bored, and I'm like, oh, I just want to go back to uni, so at least I've got something to do. And then, what I learned is when I had that bored feeling where I was just unmotivated, I would often just waste the day lying in bed or just doing nothing. And then by the end of the night, when I look back at the day, I would just be like, oh, well, that was a waste. And it would feel really bad to me. So what I learned was that if I can do something productive and get something done in the day, then I feel good. Just a really, really simple thing, simple as that. And the depressive mood goes away, as simple as that. And so I would know I could be tempted in a moment to be like, oh, I just want to like laze around and do nothing. But I know for my own well-being and just, in my own self, I know, get up, do something, because this is going to make you feel better. And at the end of the day, when you look back at it, instead of being like, well, that was a waste, I'll be thinking, yeah, that was good. We got something done. And for me, the thing that I did was create. It could be anything. It could have been just drawing a picture, making a card, or writing a song, or writing a poem, or journaling, even just straight journaling. Anything. If I just did anything with my hands and got something done, straight away it would make me feel better, and it would make me feel like I achieved something, I accomplished something, I got something done. And I don't know, as a doer, as an achiever, always been one of those types of people too, that always felt good to me. And that was just a really, really simple tool for me to know how to get out of that depressive funk. And I guess it comes from my family as well, because my family has always been that way too. We're not a lazy family. We're a family who always is doing something. We're a family that always has to have a project and a goal and an interest or something that we're working on. And so I guess that was just modeled to me as I grew up. Maybe, I don't know. And then now I always like to have something to do as well. And if I don't, and if I do nothing in a day, then I just don't feel good about that day. It's just like, well, that was a write-off. And it could be anything for other people for what they do, but for me, creating was an instant thing that helped. And so, as making journals being therapeutic, as for that, it keeps my hands busy so I can think and free up my mind to just explore different ideas and, examine life. My favourite quote, the unexamined life is not worth living. and to get something done, having a project, feeling accomplished, feeling like I've achieved something, and also I've expressed myself somehow. I've created, it's a creative outlet for me. That's all very, very therapeutic. And finally, how is it therapeutic for you to be a YouTuber? Again, I have thought about that one about making journals and crafting, but as a YouTuber, I guess because I probably haven't seen myself as a YouTuber yet, like I'm slowly starting to see myself as a YouTuber. So 2 things I came up with for this one. The first thing is, being part of this community of people who share my joy of journals and creativity. It's nice to not be alone. It's nice to be understood. And it's nice to have a community of friends who get this and who are supportive and encouraging in this. So sometimes when I would be down, all I would have to do is reach out to one of these people in the YouTube community or watch one of their videos, and straight away I feel uplifted and ready to go again, So it's been lovely being part of this community and finding, I guess this group of people who I connect with and who are out there who understand me and what part of me and what we do with creativity and journaling and that kind of stuff. But the second thing that YouTube has given me is an outlet for my voice, which I didn't know about this going into it, but you wouldn't know it. If you watch my channel, you wouldn't know that I'm actually a really, really, really quiet person in my real life. All through school, people would describe me as quiet. Like, no joke, we had this envelope exercise where everyone had to write words and put words to describe each other in this envelope, and the most amount of words they got, by far dominating, was that I was quiet. And people know if I'm in a group, they know I'm not going to speak up. So quiet all the way through. So it's kind of interesting to me to note that on my channel I am very, very chatty, and that people, I guess, respond to that and get something out of that and know me for that. Like I said, because when I do the ASMR non-chatty videos, people are like, oh, I don't like this. Can you please talk? And I'm like, really? That's not what people have said to me in my actual life. So that's something, getting used to that. But what I've noticed is that when I started YouTube and junk journaling, I stopped journaling, the type of journaling that I've done my whole life, where I would write for pages and pages just my thoughts and feelings in a journal. That type of journaling I stopped doing, and I'm thinking the reason is because I didn't need to anymore, because on my channel I was talking everything out loud. All the things I would have put in my journal, I was now speaking out loud in videos. And looking back at my life, I've always had some way to use my voice. Even though I was quiet around people, I've always had a way to use my voice creatively. So I had a phase in year 11 up into my uni days where I almost wrote a song a day. And that was my outlet to get my thoughts and feelings down onto paper. Couldn't write music, but I wrote lyrics. And then I had a drawing phase. For example, when I went through my 2 years of depression and anxiety, I stopped journaling during those 2 years because I found I didn't have any words to describe what I was going through, because I didn't know what I was going through. But drawing, I almost drew a picture a day for that as well. And then I had a poetry phase where I was sort of writing a poem a day. And then now that I've done junk journals and YouTube, it feels sort of like unintentionally that became my outlet for my voice, and therefore the journaling kind of stopped. So that has been very interesting to learn as well, and something that I have been thinking about more this year, because I have actually gotten back into journaling again this year after about a 4-year break, and it felt so weird getting started, because when I first started writing in a journal, I was like, this is weird. I don't know what I'm doing anymore. And I would only write like a paragraph and be like, well, I don't know what else to write. That's it. And I'll just put it down. And slowly, after doing that every day for a few months, finally now I'm at the point where I am writing pages and pages again. And it feels like, I found myself again. Feels like an old friend. I'm re-meeting my old friend. And it feels so good. So yeah, really interesting. Anyway, something for me to continue exploring. And it's okay. I like how, at different times in my life, different seasons, different outlets have been there for me, and it's okay to have those for a time and then to let them go. For example, I haven't written a song for many years. I haven't written a poem for a very long time. The thought of drawing a picture now, no. Those drawings could take me up to 5, 6, 7, 8 hours to do, and I was doing almost one a day. And when I look back at that stage of my life, how did I do that? And sometimes I'm like, oh, maybe I should get my pencils out again and do another drawing, because that was fun when I did that. And then I think about all of the time and how my hand hurt with that pencil. It's like, no, I don't have any desire to draw a drawing anytime in the near future at all. And it's just interesting how in different seasons, we change and we have different outlets for us. And I just think, thank it for while it was there for you. It gave you what you needed for that time. It served its purpose. But you can say goodbye to that and move on to the next thing. And I always believe there will be another thing. There'll be something there. There'll be a way to create. There'll be a way to express yourself. And that's why with junk journals, I've always had that idea, that knowledge that maybe this won't be forever, because my track record is nothing has been forever. Every single craft that I've ever done, I've had phases with, and I've gone all in. Every single time I've been obsessed. I've gotten all the things, and 24/7 I was doing that thing. And anyone from the outside would think, oh, you're going to do that lifelong. But I know it burns out after a while. I had a jewelry phase where I made jewelry. I went to markets. I had a card making phase. I had a scrapbook phase. I had all these different phases. And so I've always known that junk journals could be a phase as well. But, one thing that hasn't actually been a phase, that has been with me throughout my whole life has been journaling in one form or the other. So whether it's been little diaries when I was a kid, to art journals, to junk journals, to just journaling on plain paper, lined paper, I've been a lifelong journaler. So that has been one constant that I am always thankful for. I've often said that I would be a lot crazier than I am if it wasn't for my journals. So I'm a huge advocate for journaling and journal therapy, and why a large reason I have this channel is to share journaling with you guys. So in a nutshell, after that long ramble, it's therapeutic for me as a YouTuber, because it just gives me another outlet, another creative outlet to express myself, use my voice quite literally through speaking out loud, and it gives me a way to process my thoughts and to know myself more, think about life a bit more deeply. And I love sharing stories. I love that anytime we hear a story, it gives us a chance to know ourselves better, to see ourselves in someone else's story, whether we connect with it or not. If we don't, that tells us something about ourselves as well as if we did connect with it. Okay, those are my answers to Kirk's questions. This has been really fun. I love questions. I love psychology. I love psychology in Seattle and storytelling and getting to know yourself more through questions and stories. So I love this. It feels like a real privilege to get these questions from Kirk. So big thank you to him. Go check out their channel if you're interested in psychology. I'm so looking forward to in the future doing videos where I share more about psychology in Seattle and what I learned from them, how they've changed me. I've got an upcoming episode planned where I share 10 insights that I've gotten from their podcast, and I'm keen to share my favorite episode, my favorite deep dive, my favorite episode that made me laugh, and all that kind of stuff, and maybe an introduction to how I discovered Psychology in Seattle, why I love their podcast, what I get out of it, all that kind of stuff. So stay tuned for that if you're interested in that too, and be sure to journal your life because your stories matter, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye guys! A big thank you to my beautiful patrons who supported me in November. I hope you absolutely loved all of the extras this month. And if you would like to support me in December and get access to extra videos and printables, behind the scenes updates, and first access to any of my creations, the link is down below in the description box. The links are also down there to all of my journaling courses. The Reflections journaling course is running all through December if you would like to document your year for 2022. And if you would like to support my book fundraiser, the link is there to my GoFundMe page as well.